Welcome back to Eastern Stadium, the site of tonight's Grand River Open Cup matchup between Lansing Common Football Club and Tulip City United Soccer Club. Cameron McLaren inside the booth, joined alongside Luke Sloan. And Luke, this is going to be a completely different Robins team than one that showed up just a week ago. A lot of players missing due to the 4th of July weekend, but honestly due to the fact that this is a cup match and not a league match. So what is one of those things, that this team is going to have to do if they want to try to gel together early on, especially in that first 10 to 15 minutes? Because it seems like the last time these two teams played, that first 15 minutes was Tulip City all the way.
It's a very different day, to put it lightly, Cam, at Eastern Stadium. Head coach Josh Oakley has departed. We wish him the best as he goes to Eastern Illinois. I know everyone at the club is extremely excited for him and extremely happy for his bright future in this game. And I know from you and I personally, we wish him the best as well. He is not here. Brent Sorg is here. He will not be coaching this game, but he will be the interim head coach for the rest of the season. Tonight, the man at the front of the bench is player coach Julian Burge. It's going to be very interesting to see how he handles this club. This is a very young team playing today. Gershom Sylvan is back in the lineup. Ramsey Shaheen will play the final 45 minutes tonight. So those are the two players I would look for this club to lean on. But it's going to be a young team. A lot of energy, a lot of speed, but a lot of guys getting an opportunity today, Cam, and we'll see how they take that opportunity and run with it.
And the last time these two teams met was the first game of the league campaign for the Robins. A 1-1 draw here at Eastern Stadium, scoring for Lansing Common, Ramsey Shaheen, his first goal in the United States after a long career overseas. And on the other side, it was, give me just 1 second, I know his name. Just give me 1 second real quick. But it's their main goal scorer. 5 goals on the season. Jordan Walker was the other goal scorer in that game. Walker is not listed on the roster today for Tulip City, and that is a dangerous man. 5 goals in all competitions for him. One of the leaders in the East Division. And you talk about Gershom Sylvan. He's scored in every match he's played in. And Luke, you pointed out a stat earlier today of every single game that he's appeared in, Lansing Common has come out with a full 3 points or at least a victory.
Gershom Sylvan, we like to talk a lot about what he brings to this club, and just even beyond the skill that he brings, he just has that it factor that you see in every great player, every player who is going to be good at the next level in high school and even professionally. And Gershom Sylvan has got that it factor for certain. It's good to see him back here at home. Missed the last game against Louisville here at home. He was out for personal reasons. It's good to see him really anchor this front line of the team, the attacking section of this team, and it's going to be interesting. I would say the thing about Lansing Common, this game is for second place in the Grand River Open Cup. This is not for a championship. I just focus on them as opposed to breaking down, obviously without Tulip City's leading goal scorer, it's going to be that's a big-time break for this club, but the youth of this club gelling today, Julian Burge and Brett Sorg taking over this club, I'd say more of a sound effort on their part is what most Lansing Common supporters are looking for today.
Yeah, and you're going to get a lot of first-team appearances by some people who you may not have heard of, but we sure have in training. And one of them right in front of us here, just actually a little bit behind starting left back, Nick Robinson. He'll make one of his first debuts for the club, and in between the sticks, Shad Cunningham, who's had a little bit of a journeyman career in college, now playing at Northwood, a former Northern Michigan Wildcat. He'll make, I believe, his first starting appearance for Lansing Common. He came in relief in that first game in the Milk Cup as we are underway here in a cloudy East Lansing. Not East Lansing, East Lansing. Tulip City looking to bring the ball up the pitch immediately, as they did a few months ago. Good positioning there by Fedi Omar, the brother of one Shedi Omar. And that's a great pass there, Francisco. Omar still up, and he'll just roll one in on to the netminder, Andrew Marsh. So he'll begin play. Marsh, he played for Cornerstone back in the day. Not a lot of stats on him, but he currently coaches at Zeeland East High School in the Grand Rapids, Grand Haven area.
Zeeland East is an athletic power on the west side of the state, too. He's part of really a prestigious program.
Silva, his pass, finding Meshki along the far wing. Herring, forced to turn away. He'll give it to Davidson at the midfield. Davidson immediately forced to go back to Dresky. Slight dummy there. One of the other starting notes for this team. The pass finds its way out to Tony Burton. It'll be taken the other way by Jansen to Strabel. In midfield, Tulip City collapsed on there. Good play there by Kai Francisco as the Robins once again get possession.
Kai Francisco is one of the players in the starting lineup today that really has gotten a lot of time this season, but another starting nod for him. It'll be interesting to see the impact he makes tonight. But like we said, just a different look for this Robins side. No Ethan Brandt, no Kevin Payne, no Jack Foyt, no Ty Uziak. A number of guys this team relies on very heavily, being replaced by younger players with big opportunities.
And a good play there. Dresky able to knock it away as Kubert was in on through. Nick Kubert scoring the first goal in Tulip City's 2-1 win last week over Cedars. They'll come out to Burton along the near side. Burton, he'll line it up, and that one deflected on its way through. Jansen to Kubert. Arredondo has a man, he'll play him through along the far side. Back to Arredondo. Along the byline, sent in, Arredondo, and that one goes off his head just a little bit awry. A good chance there for Tulip City early.
Probably the best chance so far. Omar, his attempt was taken easily by goalkeeper for Tulip City.
Jansen will win it. Davidson fights for it. He'll lose out to Crooks.
Davidson, another player who has a start under his belt this year, so has some more experience in this lineup.
Strabel, he'll go for distance from about 30 yards away, and that one not going to trouble starting netminder Shad Cunningham.
Cunningham, and really both these sides are going to have to take into factor the wind. It's a very breezy day. The wind is blowing from west to east strongly, and you could see balls that are in the air for long periods of time, shots that are lofted toward the goal. They might be impacted by the wind quite a bit. We'll have to take tabs on that as this game rolls along.
Fowler to Cromwell, back to Fowler. Finds a man in the middle, it's Jansen trying to poke one through. It'll come to Robinson along the near side for Lansing Common. His touch lets him down, but he'll win himself a throw-in.
Robins in their teal and brown kits with teal shorts, the all-white kits for Tulip City as we begin.
Francisco trying to work around Fowler. He's able to do so. Francisco, he'll poke it in, and that one chested into the mittens of Marsh as he gets play restarted immediately.
Kai Francisco, such a bright future with this club. Really already has had the ball on his feet quite a bit and has made an early impact on this game.
Cunningham, he'll just boot it up and out of play.
Even that one right there was helped by the wind and is taken on by a supporter over there on the far side. Just showing really how windy it is. It's been kind of a stormy day in mid-Michigan as well, but the field is dry. But a cool evening for soccer, which I'm sure these players will enjoy, especially compared to some of these hot games like Metro Louisville, Michigan Jags. There's been some games when the turf temperature has been well over 95 to 100 degrees here at Eastern Stadium. When my partner was away in Europe, good to have him back here for his first game of July.
And it's a crucial month of July now that you bring that up. Lansing Common needing a little bit of help in the standings, but a very packed July schedule. They'll be back in action next week on Friday at Livonia City, and then a Sunday game 2 days after against BIH Grand Rapids, a team that has already beaten Lansing Common once this season, right at the beginning in the Open Cup, as they finish first in the group no matter what happens in this game. And a good step there by Meshki trying to win it back off of Saldana.
Still some pride on the line for second place, especially with a group of players really looking to prove themselves, not just with this club, but in their soccer careers. A lot of youngsters getting some time. It's going to be really exciting to see what they do with those opportunities. New faces is always fun.
Jansen trying to work it through the middle. It'll come back out to Kubert. Jansen once again. He'll dink it up top, and unable to get on the end of that, I believe, was Alcala. Crooks, he'll send it back into the mixer. Davidson there to head it down for Meshki along the far side.
Cam, finishing your point about the interesting month of July that is ahead, as that one is lofted over, taken on by the wind. Inter Detroit currently top of the table with 15 points, and then Cedars has 12 points, but then Lansing Common and this Tulip City club both have 11 points. Michigan Stars with 10 points, Grand Haven and a couple other clubs have 9. This is really going to be an interesting month.
Yeah, and as you said, that the tension in your voice, a good chance there from Tulip City, but good defending there by Lansing Common. Jansen once again, he'll go back to Fowler. Crooks, one-touch passing for Tulip City. A turnover there, Burton. Back to Dresky. Plays it to a vacant area where Robinson has it. He'll go back to Dresky. A good turn away from pressure there.
Put his foot in the ground nicely right there to shed defenders, but a lot of pressure right now being shown by Tulip City. They have to play it back to Cunningham in their own box.
Dresky finally triangle passing, able to get that out of pressure. He'll just loft it up.
It's been a while since we've seen this kind of pressure put on Lansing Common so early in the match, setting the tone early.
Fowler will take it. Crooks pressured immediately. Back to Fowler. Crooks tried to find Arredondo. 50-50 there, one out by Arredondo. It'll find its way over to Alcala. Alcala around Davidson, shadowed there by Herring, and a good right foot by Herring sends it out for a throw along the far side.
Opportune play there by Herring. He had the angle toward the goal and was able to make good use of it there by walling him off. But still another dangerous opportunity here on this throw-in for Tulip City. And they've had the better of the opportunities so far, Cam.
They've had a lot of pressure in this Lansing Common half, and that was exactly something that happened just over a month ago when these two teams met in the league.
And that one was just a heartbreaker for the Robins. They had 3 points really in sight until they wore down late in the match and still managed a draw, but still had the lead for over 60, up to 70 minutes of that match.
And a free kick here given away by Josh Rosendale. Jansen went down in a heap along just outside the penalty area. And a dangerous free kick opportunity for Tulip City.
This is one of those times when you wish you got Kevin Payne, a big body, a physical player, on these type of plays. He is absent today for this Robins side.
Paulo Alcala will line it up from just about 20 yards away. Back post, that one cleared out, and a foul in the box. The Robins will win themselves a free kick just inside their own penalty area.
That was a nice ball and a good opportunity. Fortunate for a whistle and fortunate for a clearance. And fortunate to gain a rhythm back down the other way. This team is still searching for that attacking rhythm as we hit the 10th minute.
Omar putting Fowler under pressure. And Fowler will go down. It'll be a free kick awarded to Tulip City. Just a little bit overzealous by Fedi Omar, trying to get Fowler to make a wrong play there, catch him on his off foot, I would say.
An aggressive play.
Just slightly.
Would have been off him if there was no whistle, and it would have been a corner for Lansing Common. But nevertheless, we'll see what kind of pressure this club looks to put on, trying to be on the attack.
Saldana has a support in Alcala. He'll play it up top to Kubert, who's made his way along the left side. He'll just dump one in, and Chad Cunningham, quick off his line, is able to collect.
Cunningham, so far, Cam, has been very steady. He has not looked like this moment is too big for him. It looks like he is prepared, ready to go, and we know that. He's such a professional player, puts in the work, and is ready for this moment, just like other players on this club.
Crooks. It's Alcala in the midfield. Trying to work around Davidson. Alcala from distance.
That was a nice play there by Davidson to cut off the angle there as he cut toward the goal, and another one that just sailed wide, or excuse me, high. Davidson, like I mentioned just a few moments ago, has gotten a start this season and has played some pretty meaningful minutes, one of the younger players on this club, but we can pretty much say that about most players in the lineup today, Cam. A lot of youth and energy in the lineup today for Lansing Common.
And just a lot of raw talent as that one picked up Saldana. He's got Kubert. Kubert and a good backtrack there by Robinson. It'll find its way to Silva.
Dresky made a nice play as well to take that ball away.
Robinson still looking for options. It'll find its way to Rosendale. Making another appearance at right back for him. His pass intercepted by Crooks.
Full head of steam.
Forward, Strabel. From his right back position, he's well up the pitch. Hoffland trying to work around Burton. Strabel.
Patient approach here.
Arredondo back to Crooks. And that one turned over. Francisco tried to play it around Crooks. Wanted the handball, none coming. Arredondo.
Another nice play there by Dresky to clear that away.
And here comes Lansing Common along the far side. Herring putting a ball forward, looking for Francisco. Cromwell will deal with it. Arredondo. Alcala. Trying to find Kubert. And Cunningham able to collect.
Beautiful crowd today at Eastern Stadium. I'd say by the looks of it, with supporters still coming in the gates, it looks to be potentially one of the bigger, if not the biggest, crowd of the year so far at Eastern Stadium.
And sometimes cup games will do that to you. Even if you can't get out of the group stage, you still can draw out a crowd on a nice Friday night, when there's no rain in the forecast.
Absolutely.
And a little bit of a chill, a nice cool off here in Michigan. It's been
the holiday
a
weekend
hot,
has started. People who
and it's a good start to the holiday weekend.
Absolutely. If you're not traveling up north and you're a member of the Lansing community, you can come on down to the game.
Hoffland, and that one took a deflection. It'll go out for a Tulip City corner. But nonetheless, another dangerous chance for Tulip City to grab the game's opening goal.
Once again, if you're just now tuning in, this Lansing Common Club is being coached today by player coach and second-year player of the club, Julian Burge. Munir Shirali is down on the bench today as well, not playing, assistant coach for the day.
Alcala lined up. That one just skips wide. Fowler had a wide open opportunity.
Alcala was able to tee that one up and had plenty of time to get that one away, but it was still wide. That, I'd say, so far, Cam, has been the biggest missed opportunity because he had all day to tee that one up.
And a foul against Tony Burton, trying to shield off the midfielder. Tulip City, once again, the ball in the opposing team's half. Fowler. Saldana.
It's been bend but don't break so far for Lansing Common. A limited number of chances. They haven't really gained a rhythm, but still scoreless, even though it's early.
Alcala trying to work around Herring. Alcala.
Oh, what a play.
That's a great play
Great
there.
effort.
And he'll win, or he'll at least keep it out from being a goal kick. It'll be a Lansing Common throw-in deep in their own half. With just over a quarter of an hour played here at a sunless Eastern Stadium. Cromwell to collect. The Trine University product. Played 47 games in his collegiate career, 42 starts, 1 goal and 3 assists as a defender there at Trine. He's found himself doing quite well as a defender for Tulip City. A team that still has its eyes set on possibly winning the East Division, but there's a few other cats in that race. There's a few good dance moves by Shad Cunningham to escape the pressure of Kubert. Omar, and I believe Francisco went down in a tumble.
No whistle.
And that's been a theme for Lansing Common throughout this campaign, it seems. In a few of the games that I was watching overseas, a little bit of light whistles, I would say, in a few of these games. But
you should have been there for especially the NISA Cup game against Metro Louisville. That was a real doozy. As you just took the words right out of my mouth. There was quite a bit of chatter in that game, to take your words. I think there were 8 yellow cards issued and a red card.
All fun and games here at Eastern Stadium. Meshki working around Saldana. Meshki, that one, Francisco, goes off the crossbar of the football post. And the best chance of the night goes awry for Lansing Common, but a little bit of a sign of life for the offense.
Another great chance there. Francisco, we talked about him just a moment ago. He's just been buzzing to begin this game. One of the players playing out of position compared to the rest of the season for this club, but he has shown a good comfort level so far in the first 18 minutes plus.
Tony Burton trying to take on 2 defenders. Robinson stepped up. Fedi Omar back outside looking for Robinson. He'll keep it in. He's got Burton in support. He'll use him. Burton makes space. And that one just goes past the touchline. It'll go out for a goal kick for Andrew Marsh.
Anthony Burton, the East Lansing product, Northwood University, seeing his first action of the season alongside a number of players starting today. Like we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Tulip City, this is a battle for second place in the Midwest Premier League. Tulip City sits with 11 points, tied with Lansing Common on the table. Each team also has 3 wins.
But that extra game played by Tulip City kind of takes the tiebreaker in favor of Lansing Common. Only 6 games played for the Robins, 7 for Grand Haven's team, as they would call themselves. Kubert able to escape through the offside trap, but his control lets him down. It'll go out for a goal kick.
That was just a little bit past his reach. Could have been a prime opportunity there.
And looking at this roster for Tulip City, Luke, you weren't necessarily there, but it's a very good roster. It's a similar roster to the one that they put out in the first game against Lansing Common.
The Midwest Premier League opener as well.
As this one finds its way through, Jansen tried to get around Herring, and a good backtrack by the young man. Was able to see Jansen not get a lot on that attempt. Herring to Francisco in the midfield. Dances around Crooks. Matt Davidson. Small center of gravity, usually better on the ball. He loses out to Hoffland on that one. Strabel working his way forward out of position. Strabel trying to work around Nick Robinson. Hoffland looking to whip it in. It'll go off Burton. as he gains the loose ball. It'll go back Robinson for Lansing Common. No pressure here as the Robins have ample time to work out of their own end.
Seem to be putting a lot of pressure on the players on this side of the pitch. Robinson, Dresky. It's been a point of emphasis so far for Tulip City, collapsing that portion.
And they're trying to find the weaknesses of this Robins team because there's not going to lie, there's not a lot of film on some of the guys
No,
playing.
not at all. Unless you were to dig up some high school film, some college film for some of these guys, but some of them haven't appeared in college yet.
Maybe taping a few practices, but that's not allowed. That hasn't been allowed since, what, 2004,
Yeah.
2005, and a few other major leagues. Some NFL knowledge for you. Arredondo to Alcala.
He had the chance early, taken down there.
And a late free kick awarded to Paulo Alcala just outside the 18-yard box.
Rosie.
And Rosendale, the culprit of that one.
Like running into a wall right there.
And there's not
He was
much
out of
that
flat-footed.
There's not much that Josh Rosendale could do. He's
No.
got the size advantage over Alcala.
He was on his heels on that play. And like we mentioned, Alcala had the good chance just a few moments ago.
So it's both Nick Kuber and Paulo Alcala who are sizing this one up from 20 yards away. Cunningham trying to work his wall into position. Burton making sure that near post is covered. Alcala, and that one saved. The rebound, and that one sent just wide. Oh, another chance for Tulip City goes awry at the doorstep, Luke.
Frustration. You talk about Alcala's opportunity just a moment ago. That was another really point-blank opportunity where he had the opportunity to tee that one up. This one was just a completely missed chance, and Cunningham has a bit of luck on that play.
Connor Fowler, an open sitter in front of the doorstep.
Fowler had his hands on his head in just displeasure. That was the best chance from either side so far.
He was in pure disbelief that that didn't go in.
I think we were as well, Cam.
Ever so slightly, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, it's still 0-0 here. A third of an hour played. As Lansing Common weathering the storm of this Tulip City attack. He's showing a few glimpses of light in the opposing team's half, but still.
Weathering the storm, that's a good way of putting it so far to describe this club's effort.
Hoffland. Arredondo, pressured there by Rosendale. Alcala will play it forward to Kubert. He's onside. Nick Kubert. Shadowed by Rosendale. Hook up, play it inside. Alcala. Alcala at the byline, unable to keep it in. It'll roll out.
There was
for
a lot of
corner for Tulip City.
There was a lot of green grass right there if he was able to catch up to that one. That would have been another chance for someone who's had a couple good ones in Alcala already.
The corner played short. Crooks, that one trying to find the head of Jansen. It'll go out for a Lansing Common throw, but a good play there, catching this Robins team sleeping on the set piece.
Avery Dresky was the one that got walled out by Jansen, and if that was a better ball in, that might have been a goal, the first goal of this match, because Dresky got walled off really nicely by Jansen. He had that inside positioning and would have been Johnny on the spot if that was a better ball in.
Ethan Jansen, the Hope College native, 25 games played in his collegiate career, 3 goals and 2 assists during that time. 25 starts, though, or excuse me, 19 starts.
Lansing Common caught a break there. Cunningham whiffed on it when he tried to clear the ball or ignite this club, and there were multiple Tulip City players in the area, but Rosendale was able to take it away. Nevertheless, makes you scared.
Jansen shadowed there by Silva. Played in, looking for Kubert. Robinson able to clear the lines, but not out. Hoffland in the middle. Plays it up. Kubert trying to one-touch it around Rosendale. Francisco there to collect.
That was Rosendale's best play defensively so far today compared to the previous play against Alcala. He controlled his body really nicely there and was able to deflect the ball away.
And for Rosendale, playing center back, or excuse me, playing right back is not his native position, but he's played it before, having to do so in that Open Cup matchup, the first game of the season for Lansing Common against BIH Grand Rapids. He played the second half at the right back position.
Rosendale was, every appearance so far this season has been at forward.
At least in the league.
Yes.
Dresky. Nick Robinson. He'll scoop it up to Francisco. Trying to work around Levi Crooks. Crooks will win it out. He'll go back to Cromwell. Almost a giveaway off of Francisco. It just exploded back to Cromwell. It'll be a Tulip City throw. And for Tulip City, it's not been the best recent run of form for this team. A 3-game span, only one draw in a 3-game span that started 3 games in about 8 days, only scoring 1 goal in the process. But here comes Alcala. Alcala around 1. Still Alcala. Kubert, and that one blocked away by the foot of Dresky. And once again, Lansing Common, great defensive plays to keep the scoreline level.
Alcala went around Rosendale easily on that play when he put his foot in the turf. But once again, Avery Dresky with another nice play to take the ball away. He's had a few of those so far. He's been strong in his minutes so far. Matthew Davidson was in the area as well.
Fowler working his way up the pitch. Alcala. Saldana. Alcala once again. Trying to work the 1-2 with Kubert. He wasn't looking.
They haven't worked that side of the pitch as much as the side they take it over to now.
Arredondo got lost in his foot. Lansing Common unable to clear it. Crooks. Hoffland. Arredondo just outside. Arredondo, and that one explodes once again off his foot. It'll go out for a goal kick.
That one really didn't have a chance, rolled up his foot from long range. But once again, they pinpoint their pressure on that area of the pitch.
Burton getting undressed on this near side by Strabel. Fowler. Saldana, as once again the ball enters the Lansing Common side of the field. Alcala up for Arredondo, picked out by Rosendale. Meshke able to work it off of Saldana. He's trying to spring himself forward, checking the run of Fedi Omar. He's unable to keep it in as it rides the touchline, still in. Touched, though, by Fowler. I think both players thought that that ball would run itself out of real estate, but it stayed in nonetheless.
Still a comfortable position here for Tulip City. Even though this is a scoreless contest so far, they've established a nice rhythm early.
And they've really controlled the pace of play.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really think it's been close so far. Lansing Common still searching.
An unofficial 75-25% possession rate as they work it forward once again. Jansen had to check his forward runs as he was pressured there by Nick Robinson. Crooks. Jansen once again. Forced back to Fowler. Saldana. The 1-2 with Hoffland. Alcala. Near side for Cromwell. Crooks. Check the run of Kubert. As that one goes off of the foot of Nick Robinson and out for a Tulip City throw. Kubert.
Lansing Common has had to work hard so far early in this game to keep this sheet clean for the moment. Really put in a lot of effort.
Silva with a good foot, able to win it away. Meshki dispossessed though by Saldana. Quick feet by him.
Turned around as well.
Alcala. Excuse me, Arredondo. Now Alcala, and he lines that one up, and that one goes off the post.
That one played a little bit of a trick on Cunningham. I think Cunningham thought that ball was going to be more toward the middle of the goal, but it was going wide initially before he deflected it.
Herring.
Strange play, but he stands strong.
A ball that almost fooled Shad Cunningham into the back of the net, off the woodwork. But once again, Tulip City reclaiming possession in their own half as we've hit just over 2 minutes past the half-hour mark. A quarter of an hour away from the halftime whistle. Hoffland had Arredondo forward. Hoffland will take it himself past Nick Robinson. Hoffland looking for the cutback. Grant Hoffland runs himself out of real estate, but will earn himself a corner.
Nice play though there by Robinson. He used that math. He used that angle that he had to keep him away from Cunningham. It'll be another corner here. I believe the third for Tulip City. No corners yet for the Robins, but still a nice play defensively there by Robinson to stand strong.
The corner whipped in. Immediately finds the head of Josh Rosendale. But Alcala is first there to collect for Tulip City.
That one went a long way from the head of Rosendale. Almost 40 yards out of the goal.
Crooks trying to send it up. And that one taken away by Rosendale. As he's able to send it out for a Tulip City corner, but Jansen once again finding himself in a dangerous area for Tulip City.
Avery Dresky wants a push there from Jansen, motioning to the official near him. He wanted one.
Francisco turns it over. Arredondo and a sliding tackle by Rosendale. Nervy signs here at the back for Lansing Common.
That's been another issue so far, as there's nobody over there as that one is played.
Alcala with tons of green grass in front of him. Alcala closed down by Daniel Silva. Play it up to Crooks. Levi Crooks from distance, and that one blocked by Burton.
And everyone was back in the box for Lansing Common at that point. When the ball rolled out to that area of the pitch, it was just taken easily by Crooks. They take more of a normal shape now. But turnovers have been a problem for this club. Errant passes.
Hoffland from distance. And that one just past the near post. But nonetheless, another grade A opportunity for Tulip City. And you're right, Luke.
Tulip City, they have to feel confident about what they've been generating so far. But this Robins can't help them as much as they have been. They're, I know passes that don't hit the mark, but there have been a lot of passes that have hit the feet of the opponent from a Robin at various points in the first 34 minutes of this one. Just bad attempts. Another one there. They couldn't clear it out, get momentum, get possession.
Kubert whipping it in for Arredondo. His effort finds the feet of Herring.
I thought that might have been offsides for a moment.
The Robins claiming handball, but play keeps on. It'll be sent out of play by Joshua Rosendale. As Arredondo has his feet. Arredondo getting past multiple Robins players, trying to find Jansen, but to no avail. Hoffland. Back to Jansen. Tulip City once again able to gain their shape going forward. Jansen shielding off Kai Francisco with ease. He's forced to retreat back to Saldana. He'll switch the point of attack to the near side for Cromwell. Cromwell trying to pick one out. Rosendale will just kick it out. Looking for the head of Fidi Omar. He's able to win it forward. The Tulip City bench wanting a foul, none coming, but the ball rolls in on Andrew Marsh. And
Tough.
back out to the aforementioned Cromwell.
Tough for the Robins to apply pressure after that ball to Omar. Most of them were in the back third.
Strable across Alcala, and that one rolls off of his foot. Kept in, though, at the byline. But the linesman says no.
A late call there. Frustration from Alcala, but still, that was just such a beautiful ball to him, and he was in all alone, just got lost in his feet and trickled off to his left. Just to add that to the list of really premium chances that Tulip City has had so far, Cam. That one right there looked about as point blank as any of them. I have no idea how that managed to roll off his foot and out of his possession.
And Cromwell and Strable connecting on the one touch, the 1-2. Caught Nick Robinson not backtracking hard enough, which is why that chance happened. But again, after 35 minutes, 37 now, Lansing Common still just unable to get two passes together as this sent way up the pitch. Marsh way out of his net. He'll just boot it into the fence.
Marsh really had no choice there. The one man to beat was the goalkeeper.
Noah Herring looking for numbers in the box. Omar, his looping header. And an easy grab for Andrew Marsh, who hasn't been tested very heavily so far in this first half.
I think he's only had the ball in his hands 2-3 times so far.
Kubert trying to find Hoffland. Kubert gets it off of one Matt Davidson, and here comes Tulip City the other way.
Davidson trying to recover to the play, but wasn't strong with the ball there. Fortunate to get it back.
Silva will collect it for the Robins. Herring. Back to Daniel Silva. It'll go off of Levi Crooks last for a Lansing Common throw.
Miscommunication there. Meshke thought that ball was going to Meshke.
And with this team, a lot of roster changes, a lot of guys who haven't necessarily played together, and that's shown so far in this first 40 minutes.
I agree.
Strable will bring it forward.
It's been just a disjointed effort so far for the Robins, but they've put in the work defensively to keep this sheet clean through 38 minutes.
And Alcala, that ball just exploding off of his right foot, trying to find the top corner along the far side. But another chance for Tulip City, and they're respecting the Robins in their approach to pack the box inside the 18. An errant kick there by Cunningham. Arredondo tried the back heel, and that one dies onto the turf after hitting the foot of Rosendale.
Nifty play to try to play it back to his teammate, but it was someone in the teal and brown there instead.
Rosendale sees Omar. It'll go off the head of Cromwell over to Fowler.
Just those long passes, too. We've seen a couple of those from Rosendale. They've been ineffective so far.
And for this Lansing Common team,
nothing working in the midfield.
Exactly, and that's why they're having to play these long balls forward. But here comes Arredondo trying to get it around Dresky, who does just enough to win a corner. And an overrule there by the center official. It'll be a goal kick for Lansing Common with just over 5 and change left to play in this first half.
You just like to see this Lansing Common team put something together like this so far through the midfield, where they just connect a little bit more. It's been so disjointed. Rosendale might tee another one up here, thought about it.
But Luke, to go off your point, Lansing Common having to play essentially Route 1 football because there's little to nothing in the midfield, and that's something that happens when you lose a lot of your starters. You don't have Munir Shirali starting. You don't have a Zane Arnold or a Julian Burge, and it all starts from your center backs.
Absolutely.
No Mark Wishmeyer, no Kevin Payne, who are confident on the ball.
Tyuziak
and
is
have played with a lot of their midfielders.
Tyuziak is so strong on the edges of the pitch. His absence, he has the ball on his feet a lot as well.
Jansen, a ball intended for him, finds its way to Cunningham. He'll get play restarted immediately. Francisco to Meshki, who's well out of his right midfield position, filling the void left in the center of the pitch. Robinson trying to work around Kuber in defense.
Let's see if the Robins can set something up here. This is the most comfortable they've looked through the midfield.
Meshki trying to work around Crooks. It'll go back out to Davidson. Robinson has numbers along the far side. Meshki going forward, and the flag immediately raised. An offside, but Luke, signs of life for this Robins team.
Plus, this is now an opportunity where they don't need to retreat as much toward their own goal. They can put some pressure on here if they so choose.
Strabel trying to find Hoffland up, and a push in the back by Hoffland. It'll be a free kick for Lansing Common as Davidson went over in a heap.
He was just dumped right there.
The aforementioned Avery Dresky, who's done well in one of his first appearances for the club. Robinson, that pass picked off immediately. Strabel, he'll flip it far side looking for Alcala, and just a little bit too much on it as we're 3 minutes away from the end of this first half. Wouldn't expect a lot of stoppage time, if any, through the first 45.
I agree. It's been pretty cleanly played. But like you and I talked about earlier in the match, we expected that.
Saldana trying to work it through the midfield, picked off there by Davidson. Mr. Robbins could start something. An errant pass there by Cunningham, finds its way to Kubert. Nick Kubert. Kubert in that one sliced off the foot of Dresky, who had just enough to put that one off target.
Cunningham hasn't been immune to errant passes as well so far in this one. I think that was his second that didn't go to a member of his side. So we will know momentarily approximately how much stoppage time will be added. But still, another opportunity there for Tulip City that wasn't generated by themselves. Another favor from Lansing Common.
Meshki able to receive the pass from Cunningham. He's got Burton going forward. Burton, though, closed down immediately by Levi Crooks, trying to send it over to the far side for Herring. And Herring just a tad offside.
I think that 1 minute that is about to be added, Cam, might just be more of a technicality, because to be honest, I don't know what they could find that adds up to a minute. But nevertheless, there'll be a minute of stoppage time.
Every little time you have to go and retrieve the ball, sometimes a referee will go down and look at his watch, and the 1 minute added on to the end of this first half, so about a minute 30 left to go. Maybe one to two more chances for Tulip City to break the deadlock. Strabel, one touch, that one's through. Alcala, and that one blocked by the leg of Dresky, but not out. Kubert, Arredondo, inside Arredondo to Alcala, still Alcala. Herring able to push it out, but only as far as Saldana. He'll whip it in, and that one played immediately into the waning arms of Shad Cunningham as he'll muster his troops forward.
It was a nice play there by Cunningham on one bounce. The ball just kind of died. I don't know if that was just the way it was struck or if the wind may have played a factor in that as well, but multiple good chances there for Tulip City. Avery Dresky's really continued his stout defensive performance. Cleared a ball away very nicely on that end. Multiple players are starting to get loose for Lansing Common.
And a little bit of a skirmish at the end. Herring and Alcala getting into it.
Josh Rosendale was over there as well playing peacemaker. Chet Cunningham is all the way out of his goal trying to play peacemaker. We've seen a few incidents like this recently for Lansing Common, especially in their last home game against Metro Louisville. That one got pretty chippy at the end, but that tone was set early. But to pick up my previous point, Ramsey Shaheen, Gershom Sylvan, other Lansing Common players beginning to get loose. They will enter for the final 45 most likely.
Ben Meshke off the throw-in. Inside, Francisco. Back out, Fedi Omar off the foot of Crooks. And that will be the final whistle of this first half. The last chance, a slight one there for the Robins, but it's been all Tulip City in this one. We'll be back in just a few moments to break down the first half and bring you the second half. You're watching Lansing Common Football Club and the Grand River Open Cup. Welcome back to Eastern Stadium. Another windy one here under the bright lights just to the east of Michigan's capital. Luke Sloan, or excuse me, Cameron McLaren alongside Luke Sloan. The second half just about to get underway. A scoreless first half, but not necessarily a good thing if you're a Tulip City fan.
We have change, too, as well. Holden Clark.
And you're not even going to answer my question. Love this about you, Luke. Yes, Holden Clark is in net for your Lansing Common Football Club. A change. Shad Cunningham playing the first 45. He is now out for the remainder of this game. Holden Clark making another appearance for the club after appearing in that Grand River Open Cup debut game in the first game of the season.
All right, I'll pull back the curtain on the broadcast and say that I had my head in my notes when you answered that question, or when you asked me that question. So that's why I wasn't able to give a good answer. So if you'd like to tee it up in brief, I can answer it now. My head is not in my notes.
So yes, a scoreless first 45, and that's not necessarily a good thing if you're a Tulip City United fan.
Yeah, they've had so many premium chances that you almost can't count. Here's another one.
Fetty Omar. Omar working around, his shot blocked. Cromwell, still pressure though. Rosendale, excuse me, Meshke had that one curled just off to the right of that near post. And a grade A opportunity for Lansing Common to start this second half.
I was just about to go into great detail about all of Tulip City's great opportunities, and then there were a couple there for Lansing Common. Omar had it, and then point blank there, Meshke couldn't get it to go.
Ben Meshke, a native of Kalamazoo College. 9 games and 3 starts for Lansing Common last season. 2 goals in those 9 appearances. As Dresky can bring it forward for Lansing Common. Burton in the midfield. He'll lose out immediately to Crooks. And Levi Crooks, he's played excellent here in the midfield for Tulip City. Alcala. Arredondo along the near side, working around Herring. Arredondo plays it in, and that one kept out of the 6-yard box by Dresky. It'll go out for a Tulip City throw. As Arredondo, a little worse from where, running into the triple jump pit just past the end zone, but he seems to be okay as he gimps off to the side.
Still scoreless. If you're Tulip City, you just got to get one of these opportunities to go. There have been many. And if you're Lansing Common, if you're able to get one to go, as that one just goes wide, then you feel pretty fortunate after battling all of the first half and really escaping in some close opportunities. If you were to get one to go, you'd be playing with house money, so to speak. But both of these teams, a lot to play for. Second places on the line in the Grand River Open Cup, and some pride. Holden Clark getting some action here.
And a little bit of energy as well to give the fans going into the holiday weekend.
Absolutely. Beautiful crowd. Could be one of the biggest, if not the biggest crowd of the season here at Eastern Stadium. Start of this 4th of July weekend here in mid-Michigan and all over the great state of Michigan.
Kubert trying to play it forward for Arredondo. First there is Rosendale. He'll shield Arredondo off as Clark will just boot it up the pitch. Meshke thought he had support there in the midfield, but Crooks was there waiting for it. Strabel turned over to Dresky. Dresky once again forced to go back to Clark. He'll escape pressure. Robinson forced to hold up. Play it off the leg of Davidson. Good control from the young man, trying to spring Meshke forward. He wasn't going for it, though.
Dresky has really been involved in a lot tonight for Lansing Common, playing on the back line, usually plays in the midfield. One of a few players playing out of position today, including Josh Rosendale as well. But Rosie has been effective in spots, has had a couple of giveaways in others. Still getting comfortable back there, but as each minute goes past, this team gels a little bit more. Toward the latter parts of the first half, there were a few more opportunities for Lansing Common. A big one by Meshke to open this first half, or this second half, excuse me. See if they can maybe grind Tulip City down a little bit.
Francisco, he'll lose out. Kubert along the right side, still bringing it forward. Dresky trying to battle with him to gain position. Dresky.
What a gutty play.
Able to avoid giving away the foul.
Gutty play right there.
Excuse me, now it's Kubert. Kubert lines one up and straight into the waning arms of Holden Clark.
Just such a nice play to defend without drawing a whistle, drawing trouble. They were step for step with each other. And there was contact both ways as well, I'd say, Cam.
Yes, good no call there by the center referee. Let both players decide who is going to win that ball. And a very good game, I would say, by the center officials so far.
Absolutely.
In this one.
Absolutely.
Through 50 minutes of play.
Great job, in my opinion.
Saldana will give away the throw. Burton trying to play it quickly. He'll give it up to Noah Herring as Robbins can get a few guys going forward. Is warming up just along the touchline is Jake Leone for Tulip City. Getting directions from the bench boss.
And you can see Gershom Sylvan and Ramsey Shaheen passing the ball to each other on the right side of your screen down near the play. They are preparing to enter this contest, and they will really provide a boost to this club. This club has been searching for an offensive punch so far in the first 51 minutes. Haven't really found it yet, aside from a couple of good opportunities. Gershom Sylvan is just a human spark plug, and Ramsey Shaheen has been steady for this club all season long. And to have them join the attacking forces of this club here in just a moment is going to be a big time to try to sneak away with a win here and get second place.
But here come Tulip City the other way. Arredondo one-on-one with Clark. Arredondo and the save by Holden Clark. The right leg able to just paddle it away as Arredondo was in through on goal.
What an outstanding job just to get his body in front of Arredondo's shot. He didn't have enough time or enough space to make a legitimate save and put his entire body in front of that attempt by Arredondo. But just to get a body part and deflect that ball out another corner here, the first of the half for either club, is going to be another opportunity. But wow, Holden Clark just into this contest. He's making his mark immediately.
The corner whipped in. Kubert unable to keep it down below the crossbar. It'll go out for a Lansing Common goal kick. And a grade A opportunity there. A play that came out of nothing for Tulip City. Almost winded up with Isaiah Arredondo bagging one into the back of the net.
I've really liked Holden Clark's actions so far since he's gotten into this one, Cam. Even coming off the bench after not playing the first 45 in favor of Cunningham, he's looked fluid, looked ready to go. He's been very confident back there. And he's come up big a couple of times already and may have to again here as Tulip City comes back the other way again. Full head of steam.
Strable along that far side trying to work around Nick Robinson. And Jackson Strable, he's made a few of those runs in this second half. He'll earn himself a throw-in. Tulip City trying to push the envelope here early on in this second half.
Tulip City will be the first to substitute in just moments.
And we will get that substitution as Jake Leone will come in for Paulo Alcala.
Just reiterating, Gershom Sylvan and Ramsey Shaheen are getting ready fast for Lansing Common. They just had a quick word a moment ago with acting head coach Julian Burge, giving them some instructions.
So Paulo Alcala, who's playing a majority of that first half at a forward position, a natural forward. Jake Leone coming in, a natural midfield, a defensive substitution for Tulip City, but nonetheless a very big man in Jake Leone entering the field.
Alcala was really fantastic in his about 53 minutes of play. He had a number of great opportunities, was very active. Couldn't get one to go, but he was great, Cam.
Cromwell trying to get out of harm's way to be kept in by Silva. Francisco from distance, and that one dribbles in onto Andrew Marsh, who Didn't see it at first, but was able to get up to the slow roller as he'll start play once again. And another good chance for Lansing Common just out of nothing, Luke, as they're getting a few of them, just the lack of quality finishing in the final third on a few of their chances has kept this game at a deadlock.
And Tulip City has been plagued with the same thing. They have not been able to finish either. Whoever puts it together first is going to have a 1-0 lead. But it's really been going back and forth, Cam, a lot more than in the first half, which is a positive sign for the Robins.
Leon able to get his first few touches in. The Hope College Dutchman, Tony Burton there with a great play. He'll play it forward for Fetty Omar. He just lets that run through his body, and able to reclaim possession was Cromwell. As
Burton.
Fetty Omar, he should have just taken it on his right foot, Luke, but
yeah,
nonetheless.
I like that play, though, there by Burton. There were a lot of midfielders for this club in the first half that really weren't necessarily as strong with the ball as head coach Julian Burge would have liked to see as he continues to give words to Ramsey Shaheen. But there were a number of midfielders that weren't very tough with the ball, but you like to see that play right there. Just shook him off and got it through.
Saldana over to Kubert. Arredondo along the near side. Playing Leon, and able to step up right at the last moment was Noah Herring as Jake Leon found himself in an offside position. Leon, the Hope College Dutchman, played in 25 games in 2 seasons at Hope, 1 goal and 1 assist. A native of Marshall, Michigan, went to Marshall High School, and is now playing summer ball for Tulip City.
The new goalkeeper for Lansing Common, Holden Clark, the pride of Hazlitt, Michigan, current attendee of the University of Indianapolis, taking over for Cunningham.
Meshke trying to find Burton, goes off of his boot. Trying to work around pressure. It'll be sent forward for Kubert. Forced to turn away from Dresky. He's got numbers in the midfield with Crooks. Back to Kubert. Saldana. He'll ping it forward. Only as far as the head of Robinson. Arredondo, though, slices that one well wide of the net. It'll be a goal kick for Lansing Common.
The Branch supporters group out in full force, as they always are.
And it looks like at the next break, we'll have 2 substitutions. The next time the ball goes out of play, Ramsey Shaheen on the touchline for Lansing Common. Nick Beal about to enter the game for Tulip City.
Looks like Gershom Sylvan will also come in for Lansing Common. Had a couple of words from Shad Cunningham before he enters.
2 double substitutions now. This play continues. Nick Robinson able to work off of Jansen. And a ball too far in front of Ben Meshke. Crooks able to recollect at midfield. Saldana. Whips it forward. Robinson able to collect. Davidson there first on the scene. And he'll send it out along the far side, and we'll finally get those 4 substitutions.
Gershom Sylvan is tying his shoe right now in front of Julian Burge, but I'm assuming he will enter along with Ramsey Shaheen.
So Marxus Lugo will enter the game for Michael Saldana. Nick Beal will enter the match in exchange for Connor Fowler, I believe. Or never mind.
Here comes Gershom Sylvan as well.
Nick Beal now on the pitch for Tulip City, and Ramsey Shaheen on for Noah Herring, a defenseman for forward, or defender for forward substitution. An offensive substitution for one Julian Burge as Tulip City starts things again. A long-range shot there by Jansen, palmed down and collected by Clark.
There have been quite a few opportunities from long range in this one so far, Cam, for Tulip City, but a lot of them have just sailed over the head of Shad Cunningham and now Holden Clark. But that one was not only on, but that one had a lot of pep to it. But it was right on Holden Clark, and he was able to handle it.
And something always happens in the 60th minute, Luke, and a good chance there for Tulip City as we've just eclipsed the hour mark here momentarily in Lansing.
Got to give Holden Clark, Cam, and Shad Cunningham a lot of credit for keeping this sheet clean so far. There's been some miscues and miscommunication and sloppy play and breakdowns, but they've been solid so far.
Omar, he'll play Meshke forward. Meshke trying to work around Fowler. He'll win himself a corner kick. And we'll finally get that substitution for Lansing Common. Ben Meshke's night is done as Gershom Sylvan will make way onto the pitch. And Luke, it's a pretty decent scoreline whenever he gets onto the pitch. 11 goals scored by the team collectively in his 3 games played. 3.6 goals for on average when he enters the pitch.
And Gershom Sylvan as well. He's scored a goal in every game he's played this year in Midwest Premier League play. He also had a hat trick of assists and a goal against Cedars FC a couple of weeks ago here at Eastern Stadium. He's been so impactful.
Down into the mix. Dresky unable to get on the end of it. Sylvain trying to win the ball back. He wins himself a throw-in along the far side as Strabel and him were entangled along the far side. It'll be Josh Rosendale to take this. Lining up a long throw. Looking for Silva along the far side. It'll be cleared out by Fowler and sent forward for Hoffland. He has Leon going forward. A good play there by Burton. But it once again falls to a Tulip City player. Leon. The return feed from Kubert. Crooks. Turns away from Fedi Omar. Trying not to give up the foul. And able to reclaim possession, Francisco. Over to Nick Robinson along the far side, but his pass goes awry, and Tulip City can bring it forward along the halfway line. Lugo to Hoffland. Has numbers in the midfield, elects to go himself. Hoffland. Hoffland able to get close down there by Burton, but it'll go out for a Tulip City corner.
Burton was beat initially there on the play, but did a really nice job of recovering and nice tackle as well. Some words are being exchanged now between the two parties.
Both Burton and Hoffland.
Burton gave him a hand to the shoulder when he went down after the tackle. I did notice that, Cam.
A little bit of a late Burton winning the ball and a little bit of a high boot there at the end, as I believe it was Burton, or not Burton, excuse me, Hoffland, who went down in a slight heap.
That referee,
after the ball had already exited play.
That referee too, Cam, trying to cool the temperature between those players.
It'll be Kubert to take the corner for Tulip City. The in-swinger trying to find the head of Leon. It's sent back into the 18-yard box. Francisco there first on the scene for Lansing Common. Kai Francisco trying to find Ramsey Shaheen in the midfield, but a pass too far behind him, and once again, Strabel can recollect along the far side for Tulip City. Beal. Marxus Lugo. He'll play Leon going forward, and a flag raised along the far side. We'll get a whistle as once again Jake Leon making himself known between the back four of Lansing Common, but unable to check his run in time. '64th minute, still scoreless.
There's been opportunities really abound for both sides in this second half, final 45 minutes of play at Eastern Stadium. Hersham Sylvan, Ramsey Shaheen have just entered, still looking to see what their impact will be on this one as they play kind of limited minutes tonight.
A free kick given away by Fetty Omar on Nick Beal, or the combination of Nick Beal and Connor Fowler. It'll be a free kick just outside the 18-yard box for Tulip City. Lugo, the West Ottawa High School graduate. He's also played for Muskegon Community College a few times. Not much stats, or not many stats on him. A ball trying to work it forward for Hoffland. It'll be sent out along the near side where the aforementioned Lugo will have a throw in for Tulip City. Leon. No pressure in the midfield, finds its way to Crooks. Poked away from him, but only as far as Jansen. He'll switch play along the far side, Strabel. Strabel, that one whipped in, punched away by Clark.
What a play.
And here come Lansing Common, numbers going the other way. Omar trying to work it off of Fowler. It bounces off of him and back into the path of a Tulip City player. Burton trying to win it forward. It'll go past Lugo and over to Fowler.
Still buzzing about that play made just now by Clark. Just literally, like you said, punched the ball away, I guess by any means.
We'll get a yellow card here against Tulip City. The bump disrupting the run of Daniel Silva. Really crafty one-touch passing for Lansing Common. And it results in a yellow card to Tulip City as we await the player. Both Crooks and Beal were in the vicinity.
Munir Shirali usually handles these free kicks for Lansing Common. He's on the bench as an assistant coach today alongside Julian Burge. Not playing. Neither one of them are playing.
Burton, he'll send it in. Marsh there to collect for Tulip City. The official word is Nick Beal, the culprit of that, the receiver of that yellow card. The first one in the books tonight, as
Beal,
far as we know.
Beal did not start. He was a substitution for Tulip City.
And that was a foul that he had to give up because Lansing Common did have numbers going forward, having to disrupt the run of Daniel Silva. But the first time that Lansing Common had tried to use that one-touch passing in the midfield, it seems, since the end of that first half, as Shaheen will give up a free kick, an errant leg on Grant Hoffland with just under 25 minutes left to go in play. And if the scoreline stands, we'll head immediately to penalties, but here comes Strabel trying to work around, I believe, Nick Robinson. Avery Dresky fell just outside the 18-yard box. Otherwise, it was a free opening for a Tulip City player right inside the penalty area.
Second corner so far for Tulip City of this second half play. The lefty will boot it away.
Kubert to whip it in. Finds the back post, and Fowler unable to direct it home. And once again, the man marking at the back, a wide open Tulip City player, just unable to put it in the back of the net. Another grade A opportunity for them.
And another really nice ball, like you said, Cam, back post. And Fowler, even though he wasn't able to handle it on the first attempt, it didn't dribble too far away from him, and Holden Clark and Herring over there at Lansing Common had to recover quickly on the second attempt.
Silva will collect it in the midfield for Lansing Common. Burton tried to play it off past Beal. It'll be brought forward to Kubert. Nick Kubert trying to work around Avery Dresky but the young man doing well. Kubert comes back. Kubert from distance. Now one not going to trouble Holden Clark.
Davidson was taken down on the play, asking the referee why there wasn't a whistle on that play as the temperature continues to rise on the pitch. But this has been much more of an up and down second half of play. Opportunities have been just about equal for both of these sides. And for Lansing Common, some nice halftime adjustments by acting head coach Julian Burge. Munir Shirali, the brain trust today for the Robins. They really haven't been back on their heels, Cam, as much as the first half, in my estimation.
Possession has leveled out a little bit in this second half. Majority 60-40 for Tulip City, probably on average in this game around 70-75-25. And that one's sent back post. Hoffland whiffed on the first attempt. Beal there, and Leon dispossessed by Silva. It'll go all the way out to Gershom Sylvan for Lansing Common. A springing run of Ramsey Shaheen. He's unable to pick that one out as the ball just runs out of play. It'll be a Lansing Common throw-in just in front of the Tulip City bench.
You just hear it when the ball's in the feet of Gershom Sylvan. Just now in this crowd here today at Eastern Stadium, this great crowd, there's just a little buzz in the stadium when he's got the ball. Just how creative he is and just how much action springs from his game. There's a buzz whenever he's got it. He had it for the first time in this game there since being substituted in around the 55th minute.
Hoffland trying to start the attack. Rosendale has other ideas as he sends that one out of play. And it's been a good defensive half from Lansing Common. Not many mistakes at the back.
They've really cleaned that up from the first half too, Cam.
Crooks spots Strabel along the far side. Strabel under pressure. He'll loft it in. Only as far
Someone was
as
taken down.
Jansen and Rosendale down on the ground. Both him and Jansen went up for the ball on that play. And Rosendale still trying to regather himself.
Rosendale's really been in the middle of it all so far. In this one, he's had to take some hits and playing out of position like a number of members of this club. He gets a nice hand from the crowd.
Joshua Rosendale, the recent Olivet College graduate of last year. 9 games played for the Robins in 2021. 2 goals and an assist in his time last season. 74 games played for Olivet. 26 goals and 4 assists combined with 73 starts. Shaheen! And a very questioned look to the linesman along the near side by the Lansing Common bench as they thought Shaheen was onside. But the referee had other ideas.
Julian Burge, Shirali, everyone got up from the bench in disappointment.
Sylvain trying to work around Lugo. Fowler there to pick up the scraps. Hoffland collapsed immediately. Burton has it. Shaheen.
70.
Omar trying to get it off of Fowler. He'll lose out though. Muscles it back onto his left foot. Ramsey Shaheen now. Francisco with space. Nick Robinson. Robinson, that one lined up from distance and put between the pipes of the football post. But no trouble for Andrew Marsh as the immediate impact of Ramsey Shaheen and Gershom Sylvan being felt for this Lansing Common attack.
They have the opportunity to put a little bit more pressure on here as well. I was just about to say 73rd minute, almost the 74th minute, and all of a sudden, time winding down for both of these clubs to finish one off.
Strabel looking for Leon, too far in front of him. And another push as temper's starting to flare inside the Lansing Common penalty area.
Rosendale, he went down earlier and he is frustrated. And he'll get a card. Referee had a yellow in his hand.
He's already dished out 1 yellow.
That was on Beal. Avery Dresky is arguing that there was a push on the play. Rosendale's arguing that there was a push on the play, and Rosendale pushed after the play.
Rosendale still arguing, trying to confer with the linesman. So Rosendale, the recipient of the game's 2nd yellow card for the extracurricular activities. He felt like he was pushed after Clark had already had the ball.
Brent Sorg, Munir Shirali, they both were arguing with the 4th official, and he'll get a yellow as well for Tulip City.
Ethan Jansen, after conferring with the linesman along the far side, the center official goes and gives him a yellow card. So both players have been warned accordingly, as the 3rd card has been brandished here with just under a quarter of an hour left to play.
Brent Sorg getting up from the bench and yelling for Ramsey Shaheen to get away from the situation. Wouldn't want him to get a card. But I agree with the ruling. I mean, when Rosendale initially got the call, as they're still barking back and forth, I thought both players deserved a yellow, and that's how it ended up happening. But Brent Sorg and Shirali were both having words with the 4th official during that play. Well, I'm sure arguing their case that there should be a yellow card on Tulip City as well. And I'd say justice was done. Served.
Advantage being played forward momentarily as Hoffland got upended at the halfway line. An errant tackle by Burton. He may be looking at getting a card as well as at the next stoppage. Jansen and Rosendale come together again. Rosendale will boot it along the far side, only as far as Strabel though. To Kubert. Still scoreless here at Eastern Stadium. Kubert will whip it in. Leone tried to get it on his favored right foot, but was dispossessed immediately. Davidson circles away from pressure. We'll give it to Nick Robinson. His pass finds nobody in blue. It'll find its way to Jansen once again for Tulip City. To Levi Crooks. Crooks around Burton. Once again trying to get around Burton.
Burton walled him off nicely.
Beal. Into the midfield, Hoffland. Cromwell. Cromwell trying to turn away from Fetty Omar. He'll give it up to Strabel. In the middle of the park for Kubert. Explodes off his foot, and here comes Lansing Common. Francisco, he'll play it forward. Sylvain has a step on Cromwell. Or excuse me, Fowler, but he did just enough to push it along to the near side.
Clean play by Fowler, no whistle, play on.
Crooks,
Kept
he'll
his
switch
hands,
play.
Fowler kept his hands out of the play.
Strabel with numbers going forward. Looks to play Kubert. Had Leone in support. Kubert will take it himself. Kubert into the middle of the park. Leone, a foot in there by Dresky, not enough to keep it out. That one lined up by Hoffland and sent well wide of the net, and another goal kick for Lansing Common, but a little bit of frustration settling in for this Tulip City team, as we'll get 2 more substitutions for Lansing Common momentarily.
Today's official attendance figure, 492.
As we get the official word of the attendance here, 492. Slightly frustrated Lansing Common fans in attendance for today's game.
A season high for the club. I believe the all-time record is 547.
Crooks, he'll play Leone through, but Leone, as the flag is raised along the far side, and a whistle goes, and another offside for Jake Leon, his third one of the match. As any moment now, a double substitution for Lansing Common. So it looks like Ali Alamari and Danton McFate will make their debuts for the club.
3 goalkeepers in the contest for Lansing Common.
Not unusual in a cup game. But Tulip City has other ideas before the substitution. Kubert along the far side. Force a return to the middle of the park. It'll go back out to Strabel. One touch with Leon. And that one will roll out of play as we'll finally get that substitution. The fourth official, or excuse me, the linesman had his flag raised.
'80th minute.
And it looks like we will indeed get that substitution. Kai Francisco, his night is done as Danton McFate makes his way onto the pitch.
Nice round of applause for Kai.
And Holden Clark, who kept this game scoreless, a beautiful opportunity for Isaiah Arredondo, saved by the right peg of Holden Clark. He makes way for the debut of Ali Alamari. And Luke, I have heard great things about the kid that is about to be between the sticks.
Absolutely. The pride of East Lansing. Third keeper used, like I mentioned, for Lansing Common today. Holden Clark and Kai Francisco got a nice round of applause from the season-high crowd here at Eastern Stadium. Julian Burge, acting head coach, pulling the strings on the bench for Lansing Common. And it was a good effort by Kai as well today. That one nearly ends up in the stands.
A little bit of pinball along this near side.
Chad Cunningham has not been in goal this half, but he almost had to make a save right there to protect his teammates.
Shaheen working his way into the middle of the park. McFate playing it forward. Daniel Silva. Silva! And that one looked like it took a deflection. The center referee says no, it's a goal kick though for Andrew Marsh.
How about McFate? From Hazlitt High School, Alma College. Former stopping ground for head coach Josh Oakley. It was a nice ball in the box.
And one of the coaches for Tulip City arguing for a foul as the ball exited the pitch. A late boot by Daniel Silva as the ball was already out of play. It'll be a Lansing Common throw-in.
There was an assistant coach on the bench for Tulip City that was disappointed with the fourth official that Silva didn't help him up off the turf. As Sylvan gets around multiple defenders. Talk about pinball, Cam.
And that's what Gershom Sylvan will do to you. He did that to Lansing Common last season while playing for LK St. Clair in a friendly in the last game of last season.
Scored all of their goals.
Yes, indeed,
if I remember correctly.
4-1 was the scoreline that day. 3-0 in the record books, though. Hoffland, though, trying to dance around Tony Burton. Both of them go at it. Burton throwing the shoulder, but Hoffland retaining possession. Kubert lined it up from just outside the penalty box, or excuse me, the penalty area. Tulip City still in the offensive half. Lugo, shadowed there by McFate. They'll play it for Jansen. Jansen looking for the back post run of Kubert, but he never made it. Crooks, he'll collect it for Leon. Trying to work around Davidson. He'll send it out to Strabel. Strabel, he'll whip it in. Kept in though. Jansen, that one blocked by McFate. Strable once again along the far side. To Beal. Strable picks his target. Knocked away by by Davidson.
Davidson's hurt on the play. Came down on his right leg, I believe. Ankle kind of buckled on the turf.
Here comes Lansing Common. Fetty Omar. Omar till Sylvan. Skersham Sylvan. Still with the ball. Sylvan trying to work around two.
Might have waited a little bit long to rip the shot off there. Cam still has it though.
Shaheen. Shadowed. He'll give it back to McFate. Time and space for the Alma College Scott. Trying to find Fetty Omar. It explodes off his boot. Tulip City, once again, able to recollect in the middle of their own area.
Matthew Davidson is in a lot of pain.
McFate. McFate senses that Davidson is down in his own half. With just under 5 minutes left to play, Davidson in a load of pain just outside his 18-yard box.
It looks like he's going to have to be helped off the field. He went up to play the ball. On the play he was injured on, he went up to play the ball with his head. And when he came down a little bit lame on his left ankle. And his right leg is also being maybe a groin injury for him. They were looking at Michelle, our trainer, was looking at his left ankle momentarily and now working on his right leg. I don't think this will be any sort of cramping, as both teams will use this as a hydration break.
And Matthew Davidson still in a load of pain.
Lansing Common is working with a bit of a short bench today as well, Cam. So
especially with the holiday week and a lot of the guys that played 90 minutes in June getting the day off, and this is not something you want to see, especially in a game that is good for pride, as Matthew Davidson skipping off the pitch to a ovation from the crowd.
I think a groin injury for Davidson. He doesn't really seem to be favoring either one of his ankles, but in a considerable amount of pain. Tough to see. He was really getting his first extended action of the season. Had some good moments today as he gets some encouragement from his teammates as he exits.
And for the time being, it looks like Lansing Common will play with 10 men if Davidson is unable to continue.
I mean, we're talking about such a short bench that you have Holden Clark, you have Shad Cunningham, and then you have 3 players that have already entered today: Mashke, Kai Francisco.
As we'll get another substitution for Tulip City, Breton Timmer.
Will be a significant amount of stoppage time resulting from the Davidson injury as we hit the 87th minute, still scoreless.
Breton Timmer and Ethan Volstedt make their way onto the pitch
Tulip City.
For Tulip City in exchange for Jared Cromwell and Michael Saldana.
Tulip City has made full use of its available substitutions to this point, emptying their bench almost completely.
Almost completely.
Yes. There's still one player that we see on the bench who has not played today. We can't see his number.
And here comes Sylvain the other way. Gershom Sylvain. Sylvain! That one cradled, still loose momentarily as Shaheen tried to poke it free from the right arm of Andrew Marsh, who came up big for his team when he needed them, or when they needed him most.
Gershom Sylvan just makes things happen, Cam. And right there, got a rise out of this Eastern
City
Stadium
the
crowd.
other way. Alameri quick off of his line, and he'll boot that one outside of touch as Jake Leone was one-on-one with him.
Quick thinking there from Alameri to avoid potential disaster on that play. 89th minute.
Lugo trying to work around Burton. Burton will stick the leg in, and we'll get a late whistle and a free kick. in a dangerous area for Tulip City. Tony Burton giving it away.
Burton has been kind of pinpointed by this Tulip City attack. He's had to work hard on that side of the pitch. But he's stood his own to this point, but this will be a dangerous free kick opportunity here for Tulip City late in this match.
And Volstedt hopping off the free kick duties, leaving it for Lugo. Volstedt, the taller of the two. 25 yards away from goal. 90th minute here. Chip short, still in, back post, they go in! Levi Crooks at the death may have just won it for Tulip City.
That was a second chance opportunity for him as well. It pinballed around after the ball was initially sent on goal, and he was back post and made a play. You and I, Cam, have been talking for really the majority of the second half and even the first half for Tulip City purposes that the team that finishes off a good chance first is going to be likely the winner of this contest. And Lansing Common still has some time, still has available stoppage time to make something happen. 5 minutes of stoppage time, but we'll see if they can finish one off of their own.
Shaheen still with it, trying to work around the goal scorer Crooks. Silva to Rosendale with space. Back to Silva. Shadowed there by Fowler. Back post, looking for Sylvan into the arms of Marsh.
This one is far from over, Cam. There's plenty of time here for Lansing Common to get on the attack, but finishing my previous point, it was just a matter of time before one of these clubs finished an opportunity off. And it was Crooks. It was Tulip City.
Crooks back at it once again. Volstedt playing Kubert. He's offside. Lansing Common will try to play things quickly. Robinson, he'll boot it up to Rosendale. His control lets him down though.
Just a bit of a hard touch.
Dresky trying to keep Leon off the inside of him, able to do so. Burton, who's dropped back into that defensive position. Sylvain trying to work around two defenders. He'll reclaim possession 40 yards outside of goal. Sylvan with 2 minutes and a change to go. He'll win himself a free kick in a position similar to the one that was given up along this near side just moments ago.
Just under 3 minutes of stoppage time approximately remaining. Golden opportunity here. Ramsey Shaheen is going to take this one for Lansing Common.
Shaheen sizing up the three-man wall of Tulip City. He could have Danton McFate making the inside run. Shaheen, he'll dink it up. Sylvan! And into the cradling arms of Marsh. And what a save by him.
That right there is about a point-blank opportunity as you're going to get from Gershom Sylvan, but Marsh came up with the biggest play of the game.
Jake Leon able to try and win himself a throw-in.
You can't blame Sylvan on that one, Cam. He put it in the right area. He needed to put it in off a great ball.
And it was a similar corner to the one that Lansing Common just got scored on, too. The low riser into the middle of the box, get the first deflection, and get it to the guy you want it to along the back post. Crooks trying to get a shot away. It'll take a deflection off of Dresky. No foul as the Tulip City bench wanted one, as here comes Silva.
Crooks is down behind the play as well. It's even now 10.
Sylvan with Fowler step for step. Sylvan shadowed by two. Sylvan working the byline, takes a deflection. It'll be cleared away by Fowler.
Still plenty of time, over a minute for Lansing Common to get something in the right direction.
And an errant pass, Dresky. It'll find its way to Kubert. Jansen. Off the center official. That'll be a whistle as Beal tried to get on the end of that pass. Kubert. Strabel. He'll send it forward. Alamari quick off of his line to gather possession. Just under a minute left to play in stoppage time.
Look at that ball right in the area of Sylvan.
Sylvan trying to work around Fowler. He'll play it out to the near line right in front of the ball boy.
Approximately 30 seconds of stoppage time left. Rosendale's going to take this throw in, quickly motioning Shaheen over.
And Rosendale, he has the long throw in.
It's the right person you want taking this, Cam.
Rosendale, the service, looking for the head of Burton. It'll go out to the byline. It'll be another corner for Lansing Common.
Miscommunication on
the linesman showing
I
to
thought
the
it was
corner
going to be a corner.
as we've hit the 5 minutes of stoppage time here in Michigan's capital city. One last chance for Lansing Common. Rosendale pushed off the ball. Strabel along the far side. Kubert. Leone, he's onside. Jake Leone step for step with Avery Dresky to Crooks. And Burton there to clear it away. Burton, he'll launch it forward into his own player. And that will do it. One goal separates the two teams, but it's Tulip City who ride out victors off the head of Levi Crooks as it finishes 1-0 in favor of Grand Havens Club here in Michigan's capital city. And Luke, it was a different game that was seen in the second half compared to the first half, and for a team like Lansing Common that didn't have many of their starting players and had a lot of guys making their debuts for the club, especially this season, it's honestly something that both newly appointed head coach Brent Sorg and I assume the guy filling his role, Julian Burge, would like to see, especially going into the remainder of this Midwest Premier League season.
And a great round of applause too, Cam, from this Lansing Eastern Stadium crowd as the team exits the pitch. But really, in my opinion, Cam, too, you mentioned the momentum that this Lansing Common team needs to take into the latter half of the season in such a big month of July in the Midwest Premier League, along with a match against Milwaukee Torrent. This is a good first step, in my opinion, to answer your question, Cam, about the Brent Sorg era and Julian Burge acting head coach today. This was a very young team on the pitch today for Lansing Common, a very inexperienced team that had not played a lot together. It was a rocky first half, really a bend-don't-break approach. Shad Cunningham put up a brick wall for the most part to allow this to be a clean sheet and a 0-0 game after 45 minutes of play. And then in the second half, it was much more up and down. I'd say possession was more like 50-50, and Lansing Common had a lot more quality opportunities. And this was, even though it results in a loss, and you don't like to make excuses for a loss, this was a very gutty effort by a young team. This team showed a lot of heart, in my opinion, today. It was a shorthanded team, an inexperienced team, a team gone through a lot of change and emotional change with Josh Oakley departing this week. So all things considered, even though moral victories aren't really what anybody plays for in sports, this is a gutty performance by Lansing Common, and I think there's a lot we can take from here as they encourage each other on the field as they break this one down.
And what was an emotional week here for the Robins. Emotions a little bit on the tense side on the pitch. 3 cards dished out to both teams, but only 1 goal separating them, coming off the head of Levi Crooks, as he's the decision maker in this one, as it ends up 1-0 here at Eastern Stadium. The Robins will be back in action as they kick off the final month of the Midwest Premier League season on Friday, July 8th, in the LCFC Derby at Livonia City. That game scheduled to get kicked off at 6:30 p.m. But from all of us here, technical producer Scott Oberlander, camera operator, I believe today was Lance Limbo, and from all of you at home, alongside Luke Sloan, I'm Cameron McLaren saying see you later and good night from Lansing.